Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of This Takes the Cake. My name is Caroline, and today we have two very special guests, Kelley and Kristy with Momental Designs. Thanks for joining us, ladies. How are you this morning?
Doing
Good.
great.
Good. So we're going to dive right into everything Momental Designs and invitations, and we're so excited to chat with you. So to get things started, kind of tell us what your roles are. And tell us just a little bit about you guys.
Well, I'm the owner, I guess you would say, the original visionary, so to speak.
I love
And
it.
I say that because I say that kind of tongue in cheek because, my team is incredible and they run all the things. So
Yeah, no, it takes an army for sure.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, Kelley, what about you?
So my title technically is Client Relations and Operations Director. So
Okay.
I wear lots of different hats. But I've been with Momental, I'm going into my 17th year, which is really
Wow,
hard to
love it.
believe. Time flies when you make invitations,
Yeah.
I guess. So I do all sorts of things to kind of manage the business, and I'm the one that is really dealing directly with the clients, along with our teammates, but I pretty much manage the clients.
I'm sure you have a bunch of crazy stories.
Yeah.
I'm sure both of you do. But we'll get into those later.
Sure.
So tell me, the inspiration of why you got started. I want to know why'd you think of this? Is it just something you're like, they need me? Tell me.
Well, I think you just said it best.
Yeah.
I was, I have a degree in art education and I got
Fun.
married, moved to New York, wasn't certified to teach in New York, got certified to teach, but still couldn't find a job. And I was like, well, this sucks. And so I had to go, I started working in retail. I worked
Okay.
at Victoria's Secret
Okay.
and then started working at Bath and Body Works and became a manager. And I was also like, well, this sucks.
Right.
Like
I know, as you're talking, I'm like, wow, what you do now just sounds so much more fun than all of this.
and I have to redeem that statement a little bit. There were parts of it that I actually really loved because I
Yeah, of
became known
course.
as like the merchandising queen and like I traveled store to store and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But I
Especially
was
in New
just
York. That's fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun. Yeah. Super fun. Parts of it were super fun. Holidays and all that jazz. No.
Yeah.
And I learned how to deal with people. And
Mhm.
and I also really got knocked down a bunch of pegs because I came out of college thinking I was all that. I went to college.
Yeah, of course
You
you have it
know,
all figured out as
I
soon
had
as you get
everything
out of
figured
college.
out. And then
Yeah.
I got written up for the first time because I did something stupid with like closing out the money at night. And I
Oh,
was like,
no.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, but I was desperate to like have something of my own and be in control of
Mhm.
my own schedule and all the things that you think are going to be,
Yeah.
so awesome as a business owner. So I was like
Right.
chasing that. I was chasing that and I was like, okay, but I still want to make art. And of course I was just off of my own wedding,
Mhm.
so it was like, oh, I miss planning wedding and I
Did
want to,
you enjoy the
so
planning process?
I did. I
Yeah.
was very crafty. I did all the things. I made my own invitation. Yeah, all
Oh,
that.
I love it.
You
Okay.
did.
And I was like, but at the same time, I also was like, there's nobody out there. It was all, I remember when I was looking at invitations, thinking I would just order something and embellish it. It was just like, the catalogs at that point. It was, 1999, 2000.
Mhm.
And I was like, there's just nothing really exciting that's just like, wow, that, isn't like, I have to mortgage the house that I don't own. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's the really long-winded, cheeky answers to how
No, I love it.
why I got this
Yeah.
started. Yeah.
Okay, so kind of tell me, how has the company evolved from then to now? I'm sure you're like, gosh, in like every way possible. We gained Kelley along the way with a bunch of other crazy people. So tell us about your team now and what that road looks like for you guys.
I mean, Kelley can speak to this as well, but in the beginning, it literally was me,
Yeah.
building a website in Microsoft Front Page, which
Oh my
doesn't even
gosh.
exist now. I just dated myself massively.
Yeah, Kelley, you're a day one. I love it. You've seen it all.
Almost. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost. I've known Kristy since I was 15. I
Oh,
helped her with her
wow.
wedding. So
She
we have
did.
a lot of parallels. Like I
Did you
am
help with the
also,
invitations?
yes, I tied
Okay.
ribbons. Oh yeah. She
You
recruited me.
helped paint the 90-foot
Yes.
aisle runner with
Oh
butterflies
my
for the
gosh.
love.
Christy's always been an innovator, and
That sounds iconic, honestly.
she knew from a very young age to like, let's recruit this little high school girl to help with the wedding. And I helped her with, I was at her house all the time. My mom would drop me off.
Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah.
it.
You also helped me with the sign that went on the car with
Oh, the Just Married
the
sign.
same butterflies.
Yes.
Painted on that.
We painted a lot of things.
So
Yeah.
we're into the butterflies. I love it. I want
Yes.
to. You have to share. Do you still have
No.
photos?
Oh gosh.
No.
Yeah.
It sounds. The wedding sounds amazing. I love it.
It was. For the time it was. It
Yeah.
was amazing. Yeah.
Kelley, do you
So-
remember I worked? That's the whole reason I started working at Victoria's Secret. Because do you remember what I wanted?
Yes, you wanted matching underwear for your honeymoon. You did.
Stop it.
Okay,
You
that
could tell all apparently today.
okay, that was one of the
Oh
things.
my gosh, I love it.
No, I wanted to.
She's like, no, Kelley, not that one.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean they
No,
give
you feel
free
better when you're
underpants,
matching.
so-
I love it.
Exactly.
But no, I wanted chair covers.
Oh gosh, I remember those. Yeah,
And they
that
were
was
like
very
$800.
fancy. That was
Oh my
a lot.
gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
what was the question?
I know. Here we go.
No, I love it. Oh my gosh, you guys are giving us exactly what I was wondering. Like, I wanted to know, like, why you got started. There's always the why, you know what I mean? Like, how did you get into it? The story behind it. I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us about, now you have a full team. You work everywhere. You work with everyone. How does that feel? Are you, I mean, looking back on where you started with your wedding and, you're working at Victoria's Secret, and now, are you just like, oh, yes, I love being a boss babe?
I mean, it is quite I still have, we're in our 21st year, Cal.
Yes, 21.
Yeah, like I still have these massive pinch me moments because, I think about there was a pivotal year. What was it? Was it 2000? Cal, what's the year I went to Italy and I left the whole business to you all for the first time for like 3 weeks? Was that 2013?
Say it was like 2013 was the year of our biggest wedding ever. So I want to say it was after that.
Anyway, there was this pivotal time.
It was about 10 years ago ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like my husband was like, listen, I want to travel. I want to go do things. We didn't have kids at that point yet.
Like, you told me that you were going to open your own business for freedom and we haven't gone on vacation.
Right. And I was
like, you don't get it.
Never detached, never like there was so much sacrifice in building the business, going from me at my dining room table, doing all the things to even just having my first 1 or 2 employees part-time. And in that, like, it had to be around 2014 because my son arrived in 2015, late 2015. So he kind of gave me an ultimatum and he was like, figure this out. Figure how to leave these people so they don't mess things up. And we're going to Italy for 3 weeks. And I'm like, at
Oh
that
my God.
point, I couldn't even fathom not being in every single piece of it every single
Yeah.
day, to now
Well, yeah, I
my
mean, this is
role,
your baby. You know what I mean?
right, literally, and to now where my role is literally I am 30,000 feet. That is my only role. I just kind of, I pop in once a week. We have our team meeting. I
Mhm.
make sure that the general trajectory, I help facilitate forecasting. So to go from all hands on deck, micromanaging Kristy, that literally can't leave town for 4 days and not, be answering the phone and dealing with a crisis and all that, to this Kristy who I can go, I don't even know how to explain it. This
I don't know how
team,
you like that's a kudos to you. Thinking about doing that is insane. So I
Mhm.
feel like that's a huge step, and
It's the
I mean,
people. You have to have the
congratulations.
right people who are as
Yeah, for sure.
conscientious as you are.
Kelly, you're amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
AKA Kelley and Steph. And it's there's
Your team.
way, I mean, Kelley is amazing,
Mhm.
Thanks.
but,
It's not just
but
me. It's
there
not a
is,
one-man
Right. It
band.
takes an army for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
there's like a daily think tank that's going on. It's
Mhm.
just like this hive
Yeah.
that's buzzing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would fall apart, if the pieces started to fall away. They're
Yeah.
like a puzzle.
Yeah. No, I love that though, because that can
Yeah.
be a very difficult thing to do, especially when you put, everything into your business, and walking away sometimes and letting other people take the reins on things can be difficult. So good for you. And are you happy with your role now? You're like, okay, I did it. Like this is, or do you kind of miss being all hands on deck sometimes? It's like a yes and a no.
That's a good question. I never asked you that, Kristy.
You know what it has afforded me? It has afforded me perspective.
Mhm.
Kelley and I actually talk about this a lot, in different ways, because she
Yeah.
now has taken on some of the worry and some of the OMG moments that I used to solely take
Yeah.
on, I
Mhm.
feel like. And it has afforded me perspective. I'm better able to, like I had mentioned, forecast. I am better able to, come to a situation and be like, okay, this might feel a little uncomfortable, but from this distance, I have better perspective and I can
Mhm.
kind of problem solve at a less emotional,
Yeah.
from a less emotional place.
And I
And
mean, I feel
so,
like in the wedding world, everything is emotional,
yes,
The
yes.
brides
And,
are
that ebb and
so,
flow and the highs and lows and,
yes.
feast or famine when it comes to all of that. And
Mhm.
so I now feel like I can be that perspective. I can be that sounding board for Kelley and for
Mhm.
Steph and for, all the people that in my team that deal with that kind of stuff. Mostly Kelley deals with, making sure we're booking and what are our LY numbers and blah, 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 all that stuff. When I was doing that, I had no sounding board. I just drove myself nuts. If
Yeah.
I didn't, if I was down to LY bookings any given month, I was in just a full state of panic and I
Yeah.
had no one to talk to about it,
Mhm.
And so I really enjoy being that perspective, that kind of like sounding board
Yeah, of course.
for the folks that now, like Kelley, who are in the thick of it day in, day out. So I
Yeah.
actually really like the place that I'm in. I really like being able, I started a whole other brand during,
Okay.
during the schmandemic. And
How was that
that
for
is
you guys?
now, so I enjoy, yeah, I'm happy, really happy where I'm at.
Good. Good, good. Okay, so obviously we love you guys. And you work with everyone, but tell us, for our listeners, what sets you apart from other people?
Hit it, Cal.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, it's actually one of these things that we talk about quite often because
Mhm.
when we first started, there were not many people doing what we were doing, and it was really obvious at the time. I'll never forget when I first started working for Momental couple months in, we were featured in the Knot. And it was the craziest thing. It was like one page.
The magazine, FYI.
The
Yeah.
magazine. And it was maybe like 3/4 of the page was our invitation. And it's an invitation we do
You
not
guys
make
still have that
anymore.
magazine?
Okay.
Kentucky Derby. It was a Kentucky Derby wedding.
Kentucky Derby wedding.
Oh, fun.
And it was insane because the phone literally rung off the hook after that.
Isn't
came
that a
out.
sign of the times?
And it was like,
I love it.
what do we do now? Like, those couple of years, we had some major growing pains because we were taking on so much work and we were not quite prepared for the volume of work that we were doing because we were still really like babies. So, over the years, we've definitely learned a lot of lessons, built a lot of infrastructure, created an amazing team. So like, we're totally, ready for whatever now.
Yeah.
But what's interesting now is that so many people are stationers these days, or
Yes.
self-proclaimed stationers. So the market is now flooded with so many different options. And honestly, like when I speak to our clients these days, I say to them, like, try not to be overwhelmed by the options because some will say to me, like, you're my 5th interview for a stationer. I'm like, oh gosh, that's got to be awful. Because you figure they're interviewing 5 stationers. Well, how many DJs? How many florists?
Oh, I know. We get that too.
Like, oh my
I'm
gosh,
like,
you must be spending all of your time looking at all of these different people. And it's like a full-time
You're on the
job.
phone all day. You have to be.
Right. So I try to like, just kind of help people get a good feeling when they work with us because we're actual people. Like, we are a small business and we make no bones about like you purchasing from us directly affects us and our families. This isn't like some conglomeration. We're also not a one-man band. That we've had a number of clients that have come to us like last minute that will say, I hired a stationer, but they can't do my order anymore because they had a family emergency or whatever the case may be. And they can't take my order anymore because they're just one person. And if something happens to them, they're out of luck.
That is a really good point. A lot of them are one-man bands.
They are. So like with us, there are 8 of us. So, like we've all had different things pop up where we're on vacations or we're on maternity leave or
life
we get a
happens, of
snowstorm or, whatever happens, we have a system where nobody gets turned away. And there's never, ever been a situation where we've taken on a client and said, we can't do your order anymore.
Oh my God.
That's never happened.
Yeah.
So we never turn anyone away, which is great, so that kind of sets us apart. But of course, like truly at the root of everything is just the pure artistry of what is done because, I look around, I see what's out there.
Oh, she's a sleuth.
Oh,
Kelley is a sleuth.
She's
a sleuth.
Well,
oh
I
my
have
gosh.
to be. I need to know what's going on.
I love it.
Being
You're just keeping an eye open.
You're like an island unto yourself. Like we don't have stationer friends that we hang out with. Like I have some friends that are photographers and they have like big groups of friends and they're all like they hang out and they, help each other out.
The photographer and DJ world is so funny. I love it.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, like they're gonna come help me with my wedding this weekend because they don't have one.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're like we're completely isolated. We have no friends. So we're just like ourselves. The only things that we hear are just what, other people share with us. Like there aren't any stationers that we, have that camaraderie with. So like, I do need to know what's going on out there. So I do keep an eye on things and, there's some really beautiful work out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some stationers creating some gorgeous things, but they're very different than what we offer. So, if watercolor is what someone's looking for and they want, a venue illustration, if they want a landscape, if they want figure illustrations, monograms, florals, you name it, we can design it. And it's done really beautifully. Our team it's just like oozing with talent. And I can say
Yeah.
that because I don't create any of the artwork. So I love to brag about my colleagues and what they do because
Aw.
they're truly like extremely talented women. Very,
I
very
think that's,
talented.
yeah, I think that's something else that sets us apart as well. That it's not just one artist who's
Mhm.
guiding the brand kind of vibe.
Mhm.
It's multiple artists. And so we
Mhm.
do offer a variety of styles as well.
Mhm.
Artwork styles, just, pen and ink, super realistic watercolor, acrylic, abstract, more, kind of more impressionistic watercolor, which is me.
Mhm. I love it.
Like there is just a huge range that
Yeah.
we can offer,
So,
yeah.
kind of take us through that design process. We're kind of going that direction. What does that look like for you guys, especially for a bride who comes to you and they're just like, I have no idea what I want. This is
Mhm.
what I like. I just need to get my invites out and I need your help. What does that look like?
Let me just say that's the norm. That's what
Yeah,
most
is
people
it?
say. Yeah.
Mhm.
We do have people that are super specific and are like, here's
I
what
could
I
see that.
want. This is it. Do it. Like,
Mhm.
but most people are not. That's like a very small percentage of people that are super specific. So
How
we
do you
do have
kind
a
of get
very
them?
specific process.
Okay, yeah, tell us.
Yeah. So we have a design fee that really it's wonderful because it's all inclusive. We're not the kind of people we don't want to like nickel and dime everybody. We really
Mhm.
want our clients to have the full flexibility to ask for what they want. Like
Yeah,
you're coming to us for custom design. We don't want you to feel like, well, hey, that's going to be extra. That's going to be extra.
yeah.
We
And you're
don't want
helping
to
them
do
find what they
that.
want. Mhm.
Right, right. And that's really when we do our best work too, when we kind of let the client direct and share with us their ideas and we share ours and put it all together and it's amazing.
Mhm.
So we just do a flat rate fee and it's all inclusive of save the dates, invites, day of, shower invitations, separate rehearsal invites, whatever they need. So that makes it super easy because we don't want to overwhelm people with really complicated pricing because I'm sure stationery pricing is one of the more complex pricing modules that you're going to
Mhm.
deal with because there's so many different options.
Mhm.
So we want to like streamline it and keep it as easy as
I
possible.
love that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why we do the flat rate fee. Makes it super easy and it's the same across the board for every single client, no exceptions.
Mhm.
So that makes it easy as well. And then we just basically take them through a step-by-step process and we share that process with them at the beginning so that they know most people have no clue. Like most
Oh, I
clients will
bet.
say to me, I've never done this before. I'm like,
We
well,
build
most people haven't.
expectation. We build
Yeah.
a structure for them to what their expectations should be. And I
Hmm.
think
Yeah, of
that
course.
is also something that sets us apart. Um, because well, we are sleuths and we know what others are doing with their processes and stuff. So I'm not going to say
Yeah.
how, but no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But I think we set with our process, this is something that I have been thinking about since day one. How do you take an artistic, wild, chaotic, beautiful, creative process and give it structure?
Yeah.
And that has been the
Yeah.
big question from day one. And that has been the one thing, and I think Kelley would agree, that we have continually tried to hone.
We
Mhm.
always do.
How do you rein the creative process without killing part of it,
Yeah.
Hmm.
killing that vibe and that kind of beautiful chaos,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but our structure does that, our process
Mhm.
does
Yeah, we've fine-tuned it and fine-tuned it again and again over the years. And where we've landed, we've been for a number of years. We make
that.
little tweaks here and there, but I think we've really found our sweet spot.
Mhm.
And
That's
to be
awesome.
honest with you, it's been a lot of like trial and error. Like
Yeah.
okay, what's working, what's not, what is the other main thing that we have to always keep in mind is deadlines. We
Mhm.
would love to just do all the things and try all the different options and create all of this beautiful artwork, but a lot of people don't frankly have time for that. So we also have to, build this process in the respect of we got to stay on time too.
Have you
So we
ever had,
can't.
people come to you and they're way past deadline and they're like, I
Oh
need your
yeah.
help.
Oh
You're
yeah.
just like, oh God. Like
Oh
all the
yes.
time.
Yes, I love the people that email and say,
Like, hey,
"Can I
we need
get
wedding
invites in 2 weeks?"
invitations.
And it's
You're right.
like, oh,
Oh no.
there is definitely like a line in the sand we have to draw where,
Yeah.
we need time to both design and produce the stationery. So
Mhm.
there are some realistic timelines that we have to kind of keep in mind. So like 2 weeks is not really going to cut it.
Yeah.
But we do like, it depends on what the timeline is. It depends on what our schedule is like too. Sometimes we can accommodate, but other times we can't. So
Mhm.
it really depends. But yeah, there's definitely there's definitely the people that are going to be late to their own wedding for sure.
For sure. For sure. Okay, I have a fun question for you guys. I was wondering this, as we were prepping for our call today, but what's your favorite type of invitation to design? I mean, you
Oh,
guys, you do it all, and you have so many fun things that you do for weddings and baby showers and birthday parties, and I mean, the list
yeah.
goes on and on. Do you guys have a favorite?
I mean,
Mm.
I have a favorite that, when I actually was in the design work, because I'm not in the design piece of it, as much, I just have
Mhm.
ideas and I'll be like, hey, Jill, you should get some of this and try some of that and put some of that on it, you know.
Yeah.
But I I really love it's a technique that we call, because we do actually we still hand paint invitations. Like
Wow.
we use this like hybrid of printing a very very heavily detailed design reproduction, print it, but then we add dimensional bits with brush and all that.
Mhm.
um
Oh
so
my
I
gosh, I
personally
bet that
still, yeah,
you guys are
I'm a
amazing.
sucker for what we would call the contrast painting, where we would start with a colorful paper or a darker paper and paint acrylic, like opaque thick strokes
Ooh,
that are
Mhm.
fun.
really you really there's no doubt when you hold that piece in your hand or when you rub your finger across it, there's no doubt that this has been touched by a human with a brush, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
I love that.
So that was always my favorite. In addition to, like, I'm a maximalist
Mhm.
personally, if you couldn't tell.
I love it.
Um, and I like layers of experience, like tactile layers.
Mhm.
So I'm a big fan of, like, the presentation piece and,
Mhm.
bringing in other kind of production processes in addition to this really cool hand painted focal point. So, um, yeah, that's me.
I love it. That's a great answer. Kelly, what about you? Do you have a favorite?
I mean, so I'm the opposite of Christy. I am
Okay.
more minimalist. I think that's why
Okay.
we always have gotten along so well. We're very opposites
Yeah.
in a
Uh-huh.
lot of things, but then we have a lot of common threads, like how she mentioned she's art education. Me too. Started in retail. Me too.
Mhm.
All of the same thing. We have a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
But as individuals, we have very different styles. Which is fun because what Christy loves and what I love are different things, so it aligns well with the clients. So I am always drawn to like the uber, luxury, classic, more minimalistic style, but
Okay.
it like the more like old money kind of look,
Yeah.
with the quiet elegance and luxury.
I
So
love
I
it.
love the letterpress and
Yep.
like soft colors, but I also really love some of the more whimsical designs that we've done over
Mhm.
the years, where it's been like one in particular. It was years ago that we did it. It was based on like a storybook, and it had like the sweetest little illustrations, and I
Oh,
honestly can't believe that the clients had us do it because it was like not at all wedding, but I love things like that. And I'm always so excited to see the artwork that the team pumps out because it's
yeah.
always so like, wow, because I talk to the clients in the beginning and I hear all of their ideas and where they're getting married. And I basically do like all the intake with them and
Mhm.
find out all of the details. And then I pass them along to the design team, kind of help them through their process.
Yeah.
But in that interim time where they have their meeting with me and then they have their design meeting and get their prototype, I'm not really involved in a lot of that. I don't see what's going on at the studio. So it's always like, I feel like
For
I'm the
you, I
client
bet too.
too,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
like, "Oh, wow."
oh,
I
wow,
love
look at
that.
what they did.
I
Like,
Yeah.
love coming to the studio and I'll just like, I don't know,
yeah.
I'll come up for a package or something and I'll walk around and I'll be
Whoa.
like, oh my
Ooh.
gosh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's super exciting. So like, while I have my own, like what if I had to do an invitation for myself, like what would I choose?
Yeah.
That would be that. But honestly, it's like I tell our clients frequently that I said, when I end the meetings with them, I'll say like, I can't wait to see what our design team creates for you. And I
Yeah.
truly mean that, because it's always so fun to me when I go back and I'm like, oh, wow. This is like, it wasn't what I was expecting, or like,
Mhm.
it's way better than what I thought it would be. Or, it's like
I
sometimes
love
people
that
will
you
give us,
guys still have that, like, sense of, like, shock in
yeah,
how good your work is, you know what
yeah,
I mean? You're like, "Oh, yes." I
right.
mean, that's us on wedding day too, like, once we have it all, like, done, you kinda
Yeah,
see all of your hard work and you're just like, "Oh, this looks good," you
right.
know?
Yeah.
Jillian is she's our creative director. So she develops the majority of the artwork for the clients. I mean, it's a team effort, but she's really at the helm. And sometimes I will text her and be like, my goodness, you outdid yourself on this
Yeah.
one. Like it's really cool. It's a really fun. That's probably one of my favorite things of
I love
working
that.
with Momental over the years. It's never changed.
It
I
never
have
gets
always
old
been
either.
so excited to see the finished products. Like it
Yeah.
never ceases to amaze me, honestly.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, well,
Yeah.
going off of, that question, do you guys have what are the trends that you're seeing right now with invitations? I mean, it can be for I know we're talking mainly weddings, but really everything. Are you guys kind of everywhere, or do you have like one certain design more than others right now?
Hmm.
Um, are
What do
there
you think,
really
Val?
trends for you guys, or is it more of
So, if I had to say, it's kind of a hard question, because and we get that a lot. What are the
yeah,
trends? Um, for us, it's a little different because we're so highly custom and we have this watercolor style. So definitely venue illustrations have
yeah,
been widely popular, but that's been going on for a couple of years. It's not like a,
uh-huh.
a 2024 trend. So a lot of our
We
clients
see a
are
lot of
coming
those
to
in
us for that.
Florida.
Yeah, I mean it's truly like everywhere, because so many people are doing a destination wedding, even if it's not
Yeah,
like a true destination, but
it's
they have so many
destination for
people
them.
that are traveling, and it's like everybody just wants to really welcome their guests to where they're going to be celebrating with them.
Mhm.
So the venues have been super popular, but I would say like the color trends are, they're kind of ebbing and flowing.
Okay.
I would say we're definitely moving away from the minimalist style. We're not getting as many requests for that. Um, Yay, Kristy. So, definitely, it's kind of funny because I've done a lot of reading over the years, and a lot of the wedding trends follow the home trends,
Mhm.
from what I have learned. So
Okay.
as we built homes that were minimalist over the last decade or so, a lot of weddings were
You
very
have a really good
neutral.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like the weddings are just a little bit behind the home
That's my
decor,
first
home
time hearing
building.
that kind
Yeah,
of
Does that mean we're getting into like the cottage core
that's
era?
exactly it. Because people are tired of the black and white and all of the neutrals.
I
So
love it.
because
Beige.
they're tired of that, what are they going to do? They're going to
Mhm.
go to color. And instead of it being stark, they want it to be cozy and romantic. So like
Aw.
we're going to go in the opposite direction. So that's kind of what we're seeing, is that clients are now embracing color. They want it to have a very warm, welcoming, inviting feel versus this like uptight, stuffy, stark or dare I say farmhouse feel.
Yeah.
That's really gone now.
Modern farmhouse.
Modern
There we go.
farmhouse. Where people were like really embracing the barns and the rustic feelings, and years ago the mason jars,
Yeah,
all
right.
of that kind of thing.
Don't bring that back, please.
That's gone.
Don't
So
even
now
say that.
now we're definitely going into like the English garden feel, and
Yeah, I love
like
it.
that kind of thing. Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm
I
seeing.
think of so much, and I saw like a TikTok or something about it, and it was like the Steve Martin, they redid the old movie about the wedding. What's it called?
Father of the Bride.
Father of the Bride. Thank you.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
their house.
Yes.
They had the wedding at home.
The
and
Nancy Myers.
Yeah, like just that like there's this return to cozy, close.
I love that though. We're
Yeah,
not saying
and
that.
like
I mean, just
moderately
personal
cluttered.
opinion. Yeah, I think with guest counts too recently, I've seen, a lot of it's just been more intimate. I'm seeing
Yeah.
less and less of like 300, 400 people.
Right.
So maybe that ties into the cozy feel, but I'm not mad at the cozy feel. I love that.
No. I mean,
Okay.
there's still the modern couple that wants it, more minimalistic, very neutral, very classic, but there's definitely a departure from that that we're seeing on our end, at least.
Okay, well, guys, I have one final question for you.
Okay.
No pressure. But do you have a story that would take the cake? And it could be,
gosh,
it could be anything. It could be, a super different design request that you think of and you're just like, oh my gosh, how are we going to pull this off? But you guys did it.
We have lots of stories. Kristy, what one would you want to pick?
I don't know. So I don't want to pick on celebrities. I really don't.
You don't have to name names, of course.
I know that was a question I had for you guys. I know we're running out of time, but I wanted to know if you could tell us like what celebrities you have worked with. But that's just me being nosy. You don't have to tell us.
No, I mean, we're allowed to. There's certain names we're allowed to.
Right.
There's certain ones it's like it never happened, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we were on the Sean Parker wedding, the Big Sur wedding, and that was an adventure.
Yeah,
for sure. It was an adventure. And we did Jessica Simpson's second wedding with Mindy Weiss.
Yes.
Yes. And really, those are the only two that we are allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
Still really cool.
Yeah, there's been others, but very, very strict.
Very strict.
NDAs.
Yeah.
There's actually been some really big ones that like it hurts my soul.
I know, you're like
it hurts my soul, but
it's okay. That's that, at the end of the day, you're like, I did that. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know. Cal, you go first.
Oh man. Gosh. So, something that takes the cake.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Sean Parker's invitation certainly took the cake. It was a wooden book, for goodness sake. That was, wood burn.
Cool.
Cover was, it was wood burning. The design that I illustrated, and then we hand painted the wood. We sanded it and hand painted the wood, and then varnished the wood, and then I had to go learn. There's this local dude that like apparently is this like famous bookbinder, like book restorer, and I went and apprenticed with him to learn how to bind these wooden covers really together with letterpress pages. So I mean, that certainly took the cake, but I don't feel like that's fair because
that's I wasn't expecting you guys to say that. That's really cool.
For
invitations,
we've done crazy. We don't just do paper, all right?
Yeah.
No.
We've done some crazy stuff. Like, I am all about, you tell me what you want, I'm going to figure out how to do it. Like, literally, I went and apprenticed with a bookbinder, for goodness sake.
It
Oh
was
my gosh, I love it.
something.
That's
That
so
year
fun
was
though.
Mm-hmm.
No, the
that
sky is the
year
limit for real.
created some
Yeah.
white hair for sure.
Now
Yeah.
I'm gonna go grab something that has a very special place in my heart, that takes the cake in my heart.
Okay. Yay.
Okay, and I didn't plan to do this, but I know I've got a copy of it here. So my
I'm so
children's
excited.
invitations always take the cake for me.
Oh,
What
Party
invitations?
My children, like their birthday
Oh,
party,
yes.
I go,
Oh,
their first two like birthday
I bet
parties,
they
I go
had,
like all out.
I bet, their friends, like the mom friends, they're probably like, ugh, how are we going to ever, like, how are we going to
Basically.
ever compare to these invitations?
we don't. It just doesn't happen.
It's just,
All right, I'm gonna go grab it,
She's
Kelley.
on another level.
Oh,
So
right? Oh, her
oh my
kids don't even know how
gosh.
lucky they are. Oh my gosh.
I know. It's so funny. Well, they're still really little, so they'll get it
Yeah.
someday. It's just like,
I love that she still has them too. I'm such a keep
Kristy
safe.
has everything. Yes.
I love it.
What do I do?
Absolutely. She said she loves that you still have them. I was like, oh gosh, Kristy still has everything.
So
I'm the same way.
This was my son's second birthday,
Okay.
and it was
This is so
he
cute.
loved those pop-up touch and feel books.
Yeah.
So we built one for him.
Shut up.
So like there's a little mirror. It was a story of Izzy the dragon. I did all the illustrations.
Oh my gosh.
And then so see, this was like a touchy-feely spot, and this was like a fuzzy
This is so cool.
fuzzy number 2. And then, this was a lift the flap page. So it had
fun.
party details inside the dragon's mouth.
This might be the craziest invitation I've ever seen.
And then
that's not even the craziest.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, Kelley's like not even phased. She's like, this is nothing.
Like it had a really cool spine.
This is
foil.
so cute.
Yeah.
For our listeners who aren't watching, this is basically a little book, like, and it's an invitation, and it's the coolest thing ever.
This keep out.
I love it.
He liked snacks.
Oh my gosh. And you designed all of this.
That was the dragon's snack storage. Little geode with a pop-up window. This is my son's stuffed animal. His name is Zai. And he still has Zai. He's 8.5 years old. He still has Zai. So we did a little illustration of his little wolf stuffed animal. So yeah,
well, that definitely takes the cake. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I can't believe that you weren't going to share it, even though it's so cool. I'm so glad that you did. But if you guys would drop your socials so our listeners can give you a follow, just let them know where they can find you guys.
Kelley, have at it.
Absolutely.
Socials.
So we are very active on Instagram, and we actually have 2 handles because our lovely Instagram algorithm has been wreaking havoc.
We're experimenting.
Yes. So we have just at Momental, and then at Momental Designs. And then we are also on Facebook, and I think that's just Momental, right?
It's just Momental Designs on Facebook.
Momental Designs on Facebook.
Pinterest, right? You're
Pinterest. Yep.
I bet you guys have a great Pinterest.
And that's Pinterest. And people still are just loving the Pinterest. You know, why wouldn't you?
It. Oh my gosh.
For wedding planning, it's the best tool. I wish that, I'm going to date myself. I didn't have it. Pinterest wasn't
even
a thing,
off the clock. It's so fun.
I mean, it's like incredible. So definitely a fan of Pinterest, and we do keep that very active. So check us out. And our website is just momentaldesigns.com, and feel free to reach out to us anytime.
Yeah. And if you're bored, we're on TikTok, but I abandoned our TikTok. But the best content on TikTok was from 2020 when I was bored and I was making funny,
That's
doing
everyone's.
I was doing this commentary stuff. It was like the wedding guest hotline. I was so bored.
I'm so gonna go give you guys a little stalk on TikTok.
It'll give you a little giggle for sure.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on This Takes the Cake. It's been wonderful having you
Thank you
and
for
getting to
having
talk
us.
to
Thank you for
you.
having us.
Yes, of course. If you guys want to give This Takes the Cake a follow on Instagram, it's This Takes the Cake. And Stunning and Brilliant Events is just Stunning and Brilliant Events. But well, we'll talk to you guys soon, and we'll see you next time. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Caroline.
Yay. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.